Hey, what's up? Today we're going to tear down a Samsung Galaxy S21. Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for sticking around and checking out this episode. If this is your first time here and you guys enjoy all things tech and repair related, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and smack that bell so you're notified on our latest videos. If you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. And if you guys are looking for a screen or a phone repair, please make sure to visit us at www.mrphonedoctor.com. Or you can simply reach us at any of our social media platforms found here. So we have finally got our hands on a Samsung Galaxy S21 and I am very excited to take this bad boy apart. I really don't think there's going to be anything too much different than these in the previous models. The major big thing I do see is the flat screen. If you guys notice here, you can see how the edging of this is flat compared to the S20, which it's got the curved edge. I know the other model, the S21 Ultra, does have the curved edge. So I think this is just something Samsung's doing, is they're just getting rid of the curved OLED and making them flat, which is nice, you know. I mean, I think it's going to leave less risk of you hitting the edges and the corners and of course breaking. I hear customers saying that the edge just breaks a lot easier, and that can be because it's a little more exposed. It doesn't have a little bezel here hiding up, riding up against the glass here. So as you guys can see, this one is damaged right here. So that's going to be another video that we do make later on. Once the parts and the components come out for this Galaxy S21, I'll go ahead and make a separate repair video and show you guys how we repair the front screen on these. So if you guys haven't, make sure you guys subscribe so you guys see that video once it launches. All right, well, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and start heating up this little bad boy, and we'll go ahead and begin the teardown. The phone's been sitting here for a few minutes. It is really toasty to touch, so we can go ahead and safely remove this back plastic, I should say, because I know they changed these to plastic. Can you hear that? It's fine. It's got a nice matte finish on it, so you know, it'll be one less thing for customers to break is the plastic back. So we're gonna go ahead and use our card to go ahead and help open this up. And as I mentioned before, we do like to use plastic because plastic does not leave any scuffs on metal. So I recommend that you use a plastic card to just go in here and open everything up. And we are of course going to use the ISO 99. Okay, so I know you guys are asking, you guys always ask what liquid. So I hope this answers your guys' question. It's ISO 99, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and find a little entry point here, and I'm going to start right here on the bottom area and just cut this card through like a hot knife through butter. And as I mentioned before, you guys do want to be careful how deep you go in with this because it does have a QI charger. I'm not too familiar where the QI is located on this one, since this is the first one that I've attempted. So I'm going to just get a little feeling, you know, if I feel anything rough, then I'll go ahead and ease up on the card that I'm putting in here. So everything's just a feeling game with this. Of course, the more that you do, you know, the more feeling that you get, and you know exactly where you're bottoming out, and you'll know that if you're hitting anything. And does this go around? Okay, so there's a little lip. So it looks like this glass, or this plastic I should say, is connected here as well. Shouldn't be too much adhesive, but there is some adhesive here around the lens area. There it is. There you can see she's out. So this is the back plastic you can see here. So going forward, I don't think these are actually going to be needing a repair just because it's plastic. So there you have it, and you can see where we had our sensors here covering over the flash, and there's another sensor here. It looks like a microphone or something. I think that might be this whole little plastic piece here is the flash. So here's that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean any excess glue that I have on the frame, so that way when we do put it back together, it's a nice clean finish. And to do that, we use our little OCA roller tool. And I do see some weird looking screws Maybe Samsung's starting to take notes from Apple and putting some tri-wings. There's 2 tri-wings up here up on top. But I think those may actually be for the 5G antenna, but you can see here 2 tri-wings. So damn you, Samsung, don't be taking notes from Apple, alright? Alright, feels pretty clean. I'm just gonna give it one little wipe down with some ISO. So just get all the last little residues that weren't removed. So she looks clean now. We can go ahead and remove this from the heating plate. We're not gonna need the plate no more, at least until we begin to remove the battery. And I'm gonna need to, of course, first off, we're gonna want to remove our SIM tray. So I did not pull that out. Oh, there it is, it worked. There we go. We have a double stacked SIM tray once again. So you'll actually be able to put your SIM and then your SD card, I believe. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's gonna fit an SD card. This is SIM only. So here we have it. I'm gonna go ahead and relieve the QI ports from the back. There is some QI ports, not the ports, but the QI flap is right here. I'm just gonna use my card again just to soften this. And you wanna be careful when you're doing this as well. You don't wanna accidentally get underneath the flex cable for the OLED. Alright, so we have lifted this up here. We can go ahead and begin removing the QI panel. So those are held on by a couple screws, it looks like here. So it looks like there's 5 screws here holding this all together. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the power, and then we're gonna remove this flex for the QI. Right there. And here she is. So here's the QI. So, you know, if you guys want, I'd say use this guide in case you guys need to replace any of these parts. You know, I'm going to show you guys how to access the cameras and of course the charging ports and all that. So feel free to use this as a guide to repair anything that you guys need to at home. One thing also is with this QI, if you guys do see a hot temperature or a temperature icon on your device, then more than likely this QI charger has gone bad. So that's going to be a resolution for that error. Lots of antenna cables here. Looks like we have our 5G, more 5G, and our sub keys runs right here. This is our sub key flex, and then these are your main cables here. This actually runs, I believe this might be the OLED, and then this is going to run the charging port and the panels all down here to help charge the battery. So let's go ahead and reveal the lower part here. We'll go ahead and reveal this here. You want to carefully open this up. You don't want to make sure, you always want to make sure not to go through and hit the board down here. So just very gently relieve this. There we go. So here's our back panel with the speaker. So this is your loudspeaker as well. You guys can see how very small this is. But yeah, if you guys do have a loudspeaker issue, it sounds muffly or distorted, this part right here is actually going to fix that. So we do have our flexes here. It looks like we have a main flex. Looks very interesting to me. I think that's a flex onto the actual OLED panel. Interesting, Samsung, interesting. Let's get these off though. So this is your main. This actually runs the power and everything up here to the battery. And then this is, I believe this is another little antenna as well. This probably runs signal to your phone. So we have this main here. And since I do see the OLED down here, I'm just gonna be very, very careful. I don't wanna put too much force or anything like that on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to remove this here. Let's see. Yep, look at that. Boom, that is so cool. That is insane. I'm pretty shocked on that. Normally these OLEDs, like I said, they have this flex cable attached to here, but for some reason here, I don't know why Samsung decided to put a FPC right here to attach the cable up on top. That is so cool. For all you guys out there mining the flex, if you tear the flex, you know, you could just replace this here and that'll run the OLED to it. So, all right, so you have your charging port here. You can see down below. This is all your charging area. I'll go ahead and remove that one later. I'm gonna first get this top bracket removed. So this top plate is actually connected with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, okay? All these other screws you guys don't need to worry about removing. If you notice that there's one here for this 5G antenna, another one here and here. So these screws here you do not need to remove. I did have to remove this one because it had this plate cover on it. So I set that aside here. So let's go ahead and get rid of these top bracket covers. has a little entry point here. I'm gonna go ahead and just go in gently up, and it looks like it's attached by a flex. There's a flex right here. So this is your ear speaker. Wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. They're actually combining the speakers and everything all together. So you can see how your speaker assemblies here, and that actually channels through this little slot here, and it goes right up on top on this little area. There's like a little panel where it sends the audio to. So they're starting to build everything inside these panels. These loudspeakers have been in there since day one. It looks like they just continued the engineering and added it onto the ear speaker. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the rest of these flexes, and we can try to get this logic board out. Okay, battery. We have the 5G. We have the loudspeaker right here. And if you guys notice, they actually have little marks on here. So if you guys are unsure on where you need to put your pry tool to remove any of the flexes, if you notice, they have little gold areas. Like, see this little gold area right here, this gold area, and this gold area right here. Those are actually the areas that are safe for you to go ahead and lift up the flexes. See, there's another little gold area right here, so I can go ahead and just lift up with the flex. So just follow those little guides there. Those actually help you out, so that way you don't accidentally tear a city down. If you notice, there's all these little components and chips. These are all the transistors and resistors and everything, so you don't want to accidentally go through and blow this city down, because you'll end up frying the phone. I'm gonna try to go in right here. Doesn't look like there's any screws in place. Oh, there's another screw right here. That's why it's not coming out. So we do need to remove this screw for the camera. Beautiful. Look at that. Look how much easier it came out. So always make sure all the screws and everything are out. Don't ever force anything, but there you go. So here's our double stacked logic board with the camera assembly. She feels a little loose, but that means that'll be easily replaceable. So if you guys do have a bad camera, rear camera, and you do need to replace this, then this is gonna come off very easily. Let me go ahead and just remove this so you guys can see. There's a flex on the back right here. There we go. And then there's another flex. Oh, we're losing this one. So here's this camera. And then we have another flex right here. This is for the main larger camera. So here's the other main camera. See, look at that. Man, I don't know, the engineering is just getting more alienatic as we go. I don't even know if alienatic is a word, but man, it is just insane to see the technology behind this. So we have that. We have our front camera right here. So if you guys do have a bad front camera, you guys can remove this. For this video, I'm not going to remove it, but it is adhered with it might be a cold press or some kind of a soft glue, but it's rubbery. Put some heat on it and you can go ahead and scrape that out and remove it. You do have your vibrating motor right here. So if your vibrating motor is not working, you can go ahead and replace that there. So let's go ahead and move, and let's get this charging port out of here. So charging port is another common repair. Us being attached to our devices, we're pulling it, and if you have it charged in and your charger falls on it, then it can damage and break it. So that is a common repair that we do see. Good thing is, with these newer ones, it looks like you can actually replace them. On the S10s, they are replaceable, but you just have to do like a small little solder job. That was the major difference. But on this one looks like it's gonna come right out. There we go. And they are attached on this gasket. So you can see how this little gasket here was attached to the charger here. And you can see right there how the OLED is exposed. So you always want to be very extra careful on these little sensitive areas. Our next and final step, of course, is going to be to remove the battery. And I do like to add a little bit of heat on this just to help dissolve and soften all the adhesives on there. So let me go ahead and we'll set this on our heating plate and remove the battery. All right, to remove the battery, it's pretty simple and straightforward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through on this side. There's a little bit more of a gap here. All right, so since there's more of a gap here, I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of alcohol. Just all along here. And we're gonna need my opening tool. Where is my opening tool? And just very gently make sure that you're in between the battery and the frame. You want to just go in there and just give it a gentle lift, and you slowly work each edge. You don't want to over force it, but you can see how I'm just slowly working it, and boom, she's out. And here's your battery, that little fatty. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean this since we are going to put this all back together. I wanna make sure that we have a nice clean surface area. And just always careful, you can see that this one has the fingerprint sensor exposed right here. All right, so here we have her. Here's the actual OLED. Okay, so here is the finished removal of the battery. You can see here, everything came off. Just give it a nice little cleaning. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. So when we do reapply everything, we can go ahead and have a nice clean flush mounted battery. So you guys can see here, this is the back panel. And then here's the front OLED. And then of course you do have your mid-frame chassis here, right along here. So pretty cool. I did learn some new technology that Samsung is actually doing on these. We're actually going to be having a separate flex cable for this OLED panel. And I'm still trying to think why they did that. I don't know. It'll give me some time. I'll think of some, analysis and see exactly why Samsung did that. But that's pretty much it. This is your S21 Teardown. So keep in mind, guys, I am actually going to be doing another video on the, on the front glass. So the front glass is going to be a repair that we do on this device. It's just right now we currently don't have any of these available. The glass and all the parts are not out for these devices, so that's why we're not doing this type of repair yet. All right, so you guys can see that here is the back of the S21. We have safely removed the battery. So you have the battery here. So going forward, if you do want to reapply or change the battery, you're going to just need to put some double-sided tape here, readhere the battery. But for the most part, you guys were able to see exactly how this device was torn down. So if you guys do need to replace any kind of cameras or anything like that, feel free to follow this video. Just kind of do everything in reverse, whatever you need to do to reassemble it. So, but that's going to be pretty much it for my video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, smack the bell so you're notified on our latest video, because we're going to be having the S21 glass video come out, and then we're also going to be doing the Note 20 series as well. So we just got our hands on one, so we'll be launching that here pretty shortly. So thanks once again, guys. Be safe out there, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.